Well, welcome everybody. This is for those people who are really either just coming back into City Skylines 2 because they've been away for so long. There's been a lot of vitriol about City Skylines, as you'll probably be aware of. But it is getting up to speed, I think, for a lot of people. I've had a fair, to be honest, since launch. I've not been really that affected by the issues. So call it luck, call it anything. But I have had a reasonable experience, but I thought it would be good to revisit one of the biggest improvements in City Skylines 2 was the road system. So it's by far and above better than City Skylines 1, we'll call it. And I think it's worth just going through a quick catch up of really what you can do with this real powerful system and some little tips as well on basically how you can improve, the chance of not getting your zoning messed up, things like that. So let me go on to some real basics for those who are completely new. Okay, so we've got tools. So looking at this top line only, so and just going on the 2-lane roads, you got straight. So this gives you literally straight from point A to point B. Curve, simple curve, gives you point A again. Click once and click to the end point that you want the bend on. So if I want the bend here, click again and then bend. So click there, bend. So that's the simple bend. Complex curve is that again. You start, click once and it will bend once. Click again and it will bend again. So that gives you a wavy curve. And then last but not least, there's almost a continuous. So click to wherever you want to go, press again, and then press again, and then press again, and then press again. So this is a continuous bending road. Each bend, every time you press, it puts a junction in the road, and then it will start the bend again. Grid is as it says on the tin. You do a grid, you click one point, and let's say we want to do 200. Click again at the 200 point, and then just go across, and it will automatically create a grid for you. And then you can size it with however much you want. I don't particularly use this one, but if you want to just quickly add some grids, it will add them for you. And then finally, you've got the replace tool. So if you've got this road, for example, and you think that I want a bigger road than that, you can go up to the medium roads, click the 4-lane road, click on replace, and it will replace it with the road. Now, if you replace it with a one-way road, if you click on it, it will replace it with the one way, the arrow direction showing the direction of travel. If you want the direction of travel to be in the opposite way, then you would click, hold your left mouse button down and move in the direction of travel, and it'll turn it round. So again, it's going to the left-hand side. If you want to go to the right-hand side, we highlight it, hold the left button down and move it to the right, and it turns to the right-hand travel. And that is all the tools. So with that, you can make any any shape whatsoever. Like I said, I don't use the grid. I never use the grid. I make my own grids. But it's there if you just want something quick. Grid system, then it's there. Okay. Let's look at elevation next. Okay, the next one is elevation. And our elevation is quite simple, elevates the road. So we're currently sat at 0 meters. So that means it's flat to the ground. So we put that down and it's flat to the ground. Now, you can either press up on the arrow or down on the arrow, or you can press page up, page down on the keyboard. So that's what I generally do, but for now I will use the click up, but like I said, page up, page down on the keyboard. So this is the elevation step. When you first come into the game, it's set at 10 meters per step, and it will go up to 50 meters above, and it will go down to 50 meters below. So what do you get for that? So if you go up 10 meters, it literally puts it on the plinth. And if you go up 10 meters more, I press page up this time, it will go even higher. Conversely, if you go down 10 meters, it will go underground, but you can still see it. If you go down a further 10 meters, we're getting into the realm of it's underground. So all you will see, you can just see about through here, the thing, but when you actually come off, it's underneath. So that's how we do tunnels. Now, if you want to delete anything, so anything above ground, you can delete as per normal. Anything below ground, we can't see. So you need to hit page down on your keyboard, and that will get you into underground mode, or you can click this button here to go into underground mode. Then you can delete anything what's underground. Okay. Now, so you get back up to 10 meters. Now this graduation means if you take it down 1, it goes up in 5s and down in 5s. Click it again and it goes up in 2.5s and then down in 2.5s. Click it again to its final one, it'll go down to 1.25. So normally I have it at 1.25, and here's why. So at 0, 1.25 up to 1.25, and it just gives you a little rise in the ground. So it's not going to give you any elevation or any any notice apart from that the ground goes a little higher. 2.5, you will see it does the same thing for 2.5, makes the ground a little higher. So you can just about see on the just a little higher. So when we go up to our next one at 3.75, again we get a little bit of raised ground. Now it's from this we get our first change, and we get a key wall effect when we go to 5 meters. So you miss this type of thing if you keep the graduation or the elevation step on the top, because you automatically miss. It goes from 0 to 10 at the lowest elevation stop. Now if you go up to 6.25, you go a little bit higher on the key wall, and then finally 7.5 is the maximum you're going to have on your key wall. After this, it goes to our bridging sort of thing. So depending what you're after in your build, if you want a key wall, you're looking at 5-meter roads up to 7.5. There is a way to get that as a bridge as well, but we need a mod for that, so I will get to that shortly. But right now we're on 0 mods, so that's what we have. Okay, and the next thing I've got to go through is parallel mode. So parallel mode is really, really handy. So depending on where you start, so obviously if you go up away from you, you get another road parallel to you on the left hand side. If you come down, it's vice versa. So just be aware of what that is. So same there. So the road is above if you go to the right, and it's below if you go to the left. So just an FYI. So if we build like so, it also works when you do it on bends. So, and it keeps a perfect distance. Complex curves. And then free for all. So parallel mode starts at 1 when you first start it, like so. It will go down as far as 0.25, which is practically sliver of space between it. So that's if you want to get really close. But, and this is important, it also goes up. You can do it, you know, keep going up. So that's 6. But what is useful on this is if you go up to, now why it doesn't give you grids? I mean, why don't you use grids? You could use this if you wanted 2 parallel roads. So, because that gives you perfect distance between each road. So if you wanted to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you could build that there, and that would be a perfect size with no gaps in for your zoning. So that is a useful tool as well. And by the way, that also works once you get them for other types of tracks, such as trains. So if you wanted to hit parallel mode on this, you've got double sets of train tracks. You want to get them close together, like real world, then you can get them really, really close together. So that is really useful as well. Right, the other thing what's used, before I go on to the snapping, the one thing I will mention is if you press topography, it shows the contour lines. So if I take this off, if we look at our highway here, you can see it's a ridge there, but you don't know the very slight inclines. Now if you press topography, it will give you the lines. You see the lines? So it shows I'm perfectly flat here, but it starts to degrade at this point, and then quite a bit at this point. And then it's reasonably flat to here. So that is probably one of the most useful things, and there's a bit of a gap here as well. Obviously a bit of a change in the terrain there as well. So it is useful to understand that as well. Okay. Now for one of the most important one is the snapping. Why is it important? Well, this can make or break your zoning. So snapping. So let's start off with a square. So any size, 128, 112, 128. Perfect. A perfect square. So you think, that's good. But what if you wanted to do this way? And then see, you're starting to get little breaks in the zone in here. You're getting not quite aligned there. So why is that? It's all down to your snapping. So what is the snapping? So let's turn everything off. First of all, there's the snap to existing geometry. So if I can do a road here like so, and it's not snapping to anything. There's no guidelines until you see it snap onto the road. So that's what that does. It just snaps to the road. Snap to zoning cell. So if I do that, it will, if you notice, it goes 16, 24, 32, 40. If I take that off, it's very fluid. 30, you see that 84.3. Now it's really difficult to actually get it exact. And what it is zoning cell length. Make sure that you're one zone square apart each time. It guarantees it. So you got that there, which is quite straight. Take that off. You see the difference there? That's much, you know, that's next to it. That's not. That's pretty much bob on, and that's off. So that is probably the most important one to have on at all times. The next thing, sorry, not that one, that one. So that one, snap to existing geometry, is useful because you want to snap to other roads. The next one is 90 degrees angles. So basically, if I think of this, it will automatically snap when it hit 90 degrees. 180. So this is really just to make sure you get the proper angle. So 180, 90, 90. See, you can actually feel it. You can almost hear it snapping. So that is useful. Snap to the sides of a building. So if I put a building in, could be any building. Let's put an elementary school here. So we got a road. So we try to get to a road. So we can't guess it. If we go snap to the building, it automatically, as soon as you go close, it snaps to the building. So it just makes it a lot easier to snap to the building. Sometimes that's wanted and sometimes it's not. Because you might want to put the road just there and it, you know, you don't want it right next to the building for whatever reason, and you can just build it there like so. So that's all that is, snap to the side of the building. And the last one, well, not the last one, but the last one is snap to guidelines. Now this one is the worst one, or the most likeliest one to break your zones, because it will find wherever you are, it'll find some distant. See, it picks up, it's just picking up, it's snapping to that road there, up there, and you just might not want that. So this is the one you generally turn off, unless you particularly want to be guide. There is times when you need a guideline. For example, if you're using the bend and you want to bend to this one here, like so, and you get a perfect bend. That's sometimes when you want guideline on, but generally speaking, you would switch that off and it would stop it snapping and effectively throwing your grid out. And then the final one here is snap to grid. So if you see here, I can flow across here with no snapping, and as soon as I get to a grid, it snaps, because it's snapping for each zone in the grid. So if you picture the cross inside, that's where it's going to start. So, and it just snaps to each one. So that can be a handy one, and it can also be one which is causing you problems. So just see what you think. So that one is useful to have on. What I would normally have on, out of all these, I would take this one off, snap to guidelines. I would have snap to the sides of a building off, unless you actually want to snap to a side of a building. Keep 90 degrees on, certainly keep snap to zoning cell length off, and you'll want to snap to existing geometry should you be joining up a road. It's easier. So yeah, I mean, this is probably your best bet of getting best shot of getting your zoning right. And just also be aware as well that priority zoning happens as well. So the priority is the first one laid. So if I put a straight one here, then the zone here in this road is priority. So once I put that up to here, this road is actually zoned to this road. So these zones here all belong to this one. This one doesn't think it to here. So this is how your thingy breaks. So it is much better to take that off, like so. Bring your roads back on. So if I want everything to go on that road, then drop it at 90 degrees, delete the existing road off, and then add the existing road. And there you go. Now that becomes the priority. It's broken here because it's already too close to this, which was laid first. So the first thing to do first is decide what side you want the buildings to be zoned to, which road you want to think it is to zone to this road, then make sure this is the first road that you put. So delete everything what's adjacent to it. And then also make sure you got these off as well. And that's it for the roads in general. All right, now we're going to take a look at 2 mods, which is going to help us, and it'll give us some extra stuff. Well, actually 3, because I'm going to throw Anarchy in there as well. Anarchy, by the way, will let you build something even if it's not possible to build something. So I'll give you an example. So let's say we've got this road here. If I want to take a road off here and then bring it to a bad angle like that, you'll notice the red line there which says nope, you can't do that. But if I press Anarchy, it will let me do it. Whether it's a good idea to do it or not is entirely up to you. There is instances though sometimes that you need Anarchy because of a map thing which won't let you build something, purely because there's some oddity in the map, there's some error in the map perhaps, so you need Anarchy to place. In this one, in this map itself, I needed Anarchy on to actually put anything on the coast here. Anything on the coast I needed Anarchy because it wouldn't let me. It said it was, you know, the map maker had put something down here which made placing anything on the seafront impossible. So Anarchy was the only thing. Same with the roads. Anarchy will let you do something even if the game is saying actually that's wrong, that's not allowed. So basic Anarchy allows you to do it. So that is Anarchy, but just make sure it's off, because the thing is, once you put Anarchy on, it stays on, so it's a toggle switch. It doesn't automatically flip off. And I've done it myself several times. I left Anarchy on and I've come out with some odd things. So for example, Anarchy will also help you. Let's say you want to build something like a firehouse, and you wanted it actually there, and you didn't care about that being on there. It's not going to let you. Hit Anarchy, and you see now we would have people walking across here because that's a path. So Sims will still walk across it, but they'll be walking. So there'll be some instances where you want to do this. So if you got parks and you want to put a lace of paths through them, and then you can stick a park on the top, and technically Sims should be able to walk through it. So there you go. It is useful, Anarchy, but it is dangerous as well because it can have undesirable effects, we'll say. Okay, but that's one thing. But the two main road versions is Road Builder. And what Road Builders does, I'll give you. This is it here, Road Builder. It allows you to create roads and things like that, and save them. It's a little bugged at the moment, though. I don't know where it is on updates. They're probably waiting for some updates from Paradox and Colossal Order. But right now, you can create roads. But if you modify them, it will crash the game to the desktop. Don't know why it's doing it, but it seems a bit of a bug. So I'd stay clear from that side. However, Road Builder does also give you all of these things to build. It also gives you your elevation step, where you've got your elevation here. You've got fine tuning here. So that is going up. You can take the step 12.4 and it will go up via 12.4. So this actually changes your step. And you can type in it. So for example, 1. So now it will go up in 1. So it gives you that finer control. And I think it should be 1.25. And that's what the game is normally. but you can change the size of that step, so it gives you a little bit extra in the bottom there. That's obviously the pack for the road builder. Again, if you press that, it will give you whatever roads you've built through road builder, and whatever you build in road builder, it will also show in here. I'm not using it right now because of that bug. However, it also gives you this. So what does that mean? So let's say we've got a road here, 8.10 meters. So there's a 10-meter road. Now, if I do a key, and this is left and right, if I do a key on the left and a key on the right, you now get a key. So with this mod, you are not restricted of when you want a key wall. Conversely, if you're down low and take those off, normally that would automatically give you a key wall. But if you wanted that to be elevated, it will automatically give you a bridge. Now, I use quite a lot of these bridges rather than the key walls, but it depends on your build at the end of the day, and depends on your preference. Also, with this mod, you've got other things here. You can have a wide sidewalk, and it gives you a wider sidewalk on that side and a normal one on that side. You can also have grass on that side. We do it on update. We do trees. And wide sidewalk. Normal sidewalk. Whoops. Retaining wall. And that gives you a bridge effect again. Take retaining wall off there. So you're back to bridge type. Or you can have key back. Obviously you change these and it takes these away, so if you take this to key wall, and that's a key wall, we'll give you a key wall instead. So it gives you a lot more choices, we'll say. Elevated or tunnel. Tunnel, I'd keep away from, because it forces a tunnel. So it makes this a tunnel. You see that? But then you get this sort of effect. And Oh, there we go. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is lane controller. Now, lane controller is basically a way of designing your lanes to decide what they can do. So if I look at lane controller here, or there, it's under traffic. So this is the traffic mod. So you get a lane connector and you get a priorities tool. So priorities tool, which gives you whether they yield, they stop, they have to stop, either a lane or a lane group. Not really used a lot of that. Main thing for me is this lane tool. So this is where you start from and this is where they go. But you can change it so they can also jump to that lane there. You can also change it that they can do a U-turn here. And if you want to get rid of that, you just drag it and right click to drop it. So left click the start, go to the end, and then left click to drag it off, right click to delete it. Simple. So how would we deal with that? So if we have a 4-lane here, and then straight across there. So we've got a 4-lane here on a set of traffic lights. What if we wanted to keep, so we didn't want people to turn right here. So we go into lane control, lane connector, click on the junction, and that's everything. So it's a mess right now because they're allowing, basically this is the game default, it allows U-turns. So first of all, remove all the U-turns, that's what I always do. So that's not allowing any sim to do a U-turn at a junction. There's this quite handy thing is remove unsafe. So what it's showing there, the red, so if you look at this one here, it's showing that's a safe one, but that other one's a bit dodgy, so remove it. So now we're a bit clean. So what does lane controller do? So you want the priority to be this way, but you don't want people turning right in this road here. So let's take this, drag it off, press right click. So no longer can sims, you see that line's changed now, no arrow going that way, straight on only. And what if we also do the same to this? So basically now, the only thing that coming into this junction they can do is go straight forward. So there is a number of reasons why you do this. Because basically what you want to do is make your traffic as fast as possible. See, in that instance, nobody can turn in any direction. They can only go straight. And if you wanted to, you could actually, and see, it makes it a dead end. Dead end, because no traffic is allowed to pass. So you can do a lot with this. You can certainly change a lot of the directions of your traffic. And if you've got problems, you can definitely fix those problems with the lane connector tool and some clever, you know, lane mathematics. And you hear that term a lot. What is lane mathematics? So let me do an example. So let's say we got this road here. So it's on an incline. So let's do something, I don't know, let's do 2-lane across. Let's do this flat, and let's switch on the thing. So this is where we're going to be starting from. So you see that slope sign there in the middle at -4.9. I want to make this straight, so I'm going to put that up to so it's 0. So I'm going to keep going up. That's close enough. So that's 0.01. Go across here. 180.04. Like so. Perfect. Okay. So what I want is to get traffic to come this way and that way. So what do I want to do? Right, well, the first thing to do is let's bring this down to the road. Let's keep it as close as possible. Doesn't have to be pretty. Okay. So here's what I would do. First of all, I would get my highway 1 lane, 1 way. Choose simple curve. Get to the end, go straight to join that there, click it, and till the curve is a reasonable direction. Do the same on the other. Make sure it's 180. Click it and then go the other way. Okay, well, the first thing first is you need to go into the replace mode and just change the direction because that's the flow of traffic. Now what lane mathematics is this road here. You've got 3 lines of traffic coming and they can go straight on or turn left. But you've got traffic joining here as well, so there's a potential here of a hold up. So it would be much better to leave this as 2 lanes only, to leave this as a right only turn and then rejoining the traffic here. So this is what lane mathematics is. So that's a 3 lane. We're going to change it to a 2 lane. So what's happening now is that this lane here, this 3rd lane here, is coming off. So anybody in this lane is automatically going to be coming off. And then once they join here, it goes back to a 3 lane. So that's lane mathematics. 3, take away 1, leaves 2. Add 1, that's 3. So that is lane mathematics. Now, this is why you need to also have in this lane controller, because when you first do this, you get these oddities. For one, you always get this here, which is what you don't want. So remove U-turns, remove unsafe, and make sure you've only got 2 directions to travel. Okay, and then same here, make sure all that's right, that's fine, and then same here. Oh, that's fine. So that's perfect. So we got that one going into there. So what's going on here then? So we've got this traffic coming in to this direction. So what we'll be doing here is, again, using this last lane here, we'll take this off as a bend. And then what we can do is, this is a 2 lane, So let's make this a 4-lane coming out. Make this a 4-lane coming out. So what we do here is take this out to roughly the end, like so, and then same for this. Like so. So what we've got here is the 2 lanes coming in, one of them coming off onto the motorway or the highway, coming off the highway or the motorway, and coming rejoining the road. So again, use lane controller. Sorry, I keep touching them on. Lane connection tool. Lots of U-turns in here, so remove all of them. That's perfect. Let's double check down here. Here we've got lane mathematics again. So we've got 2 coming off and 1 coming off. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So we're taking this to a 2-lane motorway. Single, so it's 1 way. So, like so. Perfect. So we've got this big one here, 2 ways. Now we've got 3 coming in here. And then it's actually coming out to a 4th lane if you're going to go off there. You see where we're going now, and then we can literally then bring that 4-lane now. If I do my bend, perfect. And now that is a perfectly working. So we get it going, make sure. See, how nice is that? Free flowing. And that's how you do it. So that's an example of lane mathematics, utilizing your mods to get the perfect interface. Hope that's useful to you all. If it is, let me know. We can also add, which is in-game, by the way. So what we've got down here is some lights, etc. So once you've got your road services, we can get rid of lights and get rid of all these sort of crossings. Don't need lights or anything like that. So perfect. Nice one. See that? See them too? Perfect. All right, folks. Hope that was useful to you. If it was, let me know. If it wasn't, let me know as well. All right. Thanks all for listening, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.